you're dealing with the kids, and you kind of have to sometimes, well, let me ask, make it clear that this is the reality of the situation, but if you don't want to go out there and get hurt, or you don't want to be connected to the gangs that you kind of tiptoeing around, maybe thinking about doing, if you don't want to do these things, we got to work on you accepting the situation that you have and connected to your parents, and then we have to move on from there. How
Right.
do you how do you deal with making that clear? I know you guys have the training and stuff like that. And let me ask you this. Fuck that question. Let me ask you
Mm,
this. I know you guys said basically the men that you have involved in the organization,
mm.
they had to go through training, right?
Yes.
What happens once, or has it happened ever, where someone is kind of falling off and certain kids have taken to that particular person? Have you ever had that happen? Like, like, okay, see how you had the encounter with the
Mm,
young man who
mm,
was like, you
mm.
come over to Long Island?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if that particular kid had a thing for you as in like, nah, I rock out with, that's my guy,
Right.
that's Anthony. That's Anthony. Next thing you know, you have an issue with him, you guys were falling out, and now you're no longer there. Have you guys had to deal with that before? And what
Nah,
happened?
I
That's
would,
awesome.
yeah, I
Yeah.
would say we haven't had that because first off, like our first name become brother,
Okay.
Right.
right? And that's like most important. So let's say if the young man name is John, and his name become brother John. He
Right.
responds to him as brother Page, brother
Okay.
Carter.
Okay.
So it's just more so of a brotherhood, and it's like the word, the NIGGER word is not used
Right.
in our circumference because we want to be able to help them understand that it's about brotherhood,
Right.
right? Because before we became fathers,
Right.
it was
Right.
brotherhood,
Right. Right. Right.
Exactly.
and that's how we have to be able to just recapture that understanding and show them this is what that means,
Right.
right? And then showing them that's what that means. Brothers fight.
Hmm.
We have
We
arguments. We
disagree.
have
Yeah.
disagreements,
And then we dap it up and keep
and
it
and,
pushing.
and
Right.
that's a
Right.
fact.
You know.
I grew up with brothers. Not me. We pushing like, yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that's 100% right.
Yeah.
We've been lucky, not to have that,
That's
but
awesome.
we
Right.
focus on it being a brotherhood
Yeah.
first, and we make a bond with each other first
Mhm.
before we really place them in front of our
Mhm.
kids, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
Right.
you have to put in 50 hours of community service, like
Okay.
like with us, you
Right.
have to show your commitment to faith,
Right.
right,
What's that
in
look
order to
like?
become a member, you know. And before you become quote unquote a facilitator,
Mhm.
right? You may come into a Jegna program and you may be a observer, right?
Observer.
Mhm.
But
Right.
you're not a
Right.
facilitator,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
Because you got to still pay your dues. We got to
Mhm.
show
This
your
is
you got to
how
show
it's
your
done.
worth.
I
You know
love
what I mean?
that, man. I love
And,
that.
and, and through that is how we build the brotherhood and the bond. So by the time they are quote unquote a facilitator, they already have allegiance to us.
That's a
There's
man.
already,
I felt
you know
that.
what I mean?
I felt that right
Right.
here. Like what they say, get you right here. I felt that. I felt
Right,
that
right.
because no, it makes so much sense. Because I look at it and there's no judgment. We're just gonna keep it real. I see a lot of organizations that end up falling to the wayside because of the egos.
Hmm.
But if everybody's getting trained and this one's
Right.
able to tell you, this is what you got going on. Let's work on that A, B, and C. We're all on the same page. You know what I'm saying? Nothing should be disrupting that.
Now,
Right,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Ego
right.
just easing God out.
That's
Hello,
So
right.
sir.
when you do that EGO, like when we can identify that and see that in the
That's
individual,
right.
if they running around with a big ego, then that means there's nothing about God in
Right.
him or
No,
her.
sir.
So
Yeah.
therefore, if they're not of God, then they're not of the circle.
Right.
Because we
Right.
have to be able to move in a certain kind of kingdom culture at this particular time when
Yeah.
we are observing the kingdom of darkness take its plague over different communities throughout this country. So now, mainly in our situation, when we can see and identify that kingdom of darkness that exists, we have to be the light. We have to be the ones
Yes.
who go into these dark places, dark communities, and be able to light it up. And
Right.
lighting it
That's
up
right.
only comes with wisdom. And the only way we're going to obtain wisdom is we have to go through some stuff,
Right.
That's right.
Right. Right.
right? So I can say I went through some stuff. I
Yeah.
grew
Hmm.
up 96 buildings,
Mhm.
6 blocks, one of the biggest
Okay.
projects in the world. So,
Yeah.
I had to go through some stuff out there.
Right. Right.
And I learned. And I'm sure, Brother Page as well, he
Yeah.
had to go through some stuff.
Going through,
You know,
I call
we
it the five barrels in Nassau County. You know what I mean? I'm
Listen.
saying Roosevelt,
That's
Freeport, and Baldwin. Like
that's
a
a
lot
big
goes
fact.
on. Just
A
because it's
lot
the
goes
suburbs
on.
don't mean nothing happened.
Yeah.
You
right.
know what I mean? So,
Telling you.
we've been through some things, and like
Absolutely.
we walk with, like Kenny said, just we bring that light, and we
Mhm.
do that through, just sharing the love as well that we have, and I always
Right.
say, one of the favorite quotes of Martin Luther King, where he says, hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And darkness can't drive out darkness. Only light can do
I
that.
know for the
You know?
past few years that just passed, we've been fasting on Black History Month.
Yeah.
21-day
Nice.
fast. Like now,
Yeah.
automatically
Yeah.
we turning down
I
plates.
love that.
So it's like corporately, let's be
And
praying.
the father of the group is doing this with us. We're doing this collectively.
I
You know what I
love
mean?
it. That's what I'm saying. Let me ask you this.
Word.
Because I'm feeling like, because I'm excited. I'm not even involved. Okay. I'm excited. So when it comes to even something like that, a person who came from, because everybody's household, not everybody knows God. They
Right.
just don't. It's not their world. So they come and encounter faith. Maybe someone said, listen, this organization, they not playing. I need you to go down there, or I'm gonna drop you off, or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna let them know what your situation is because I'm trying to save your life. I gotta get you in these men's spaces, or whatever the case may be. But they don't know nothing about God. They're coming because somebody else sent them there.
Mm-hmm.
How do you introduce them to something like fasting? And explain, because everybody don't know what that is.
All right,
Or
fasting.
the type of fast you guys do.
All right, so fasting normally is abstaining from things that are ordinarily bring you pleasure for a spiritual advancement and enhancement, right? And that just goes just by disciplining yourself. Sometimes it may be the first 7 days will be water, just water, no food, no nothing else. That's going to be hard for some people.
Right.
So I advise before you jump into a whole 21 day, let's at least do 3 days. Right, ease it in, and then for me, it really had to be about coaching myself, months before, knowing that February 1st is coming. So I gotta focus mentally,
Right.
really prepare myself. And one of the good things this year that I picked up is it's 5 a.m. prayer now for me. Like every morning at 5 a.m. I'm up, I have a prayer line, and I'm consistent with it.
Yeah.
And then the weekends I'm off. I tap out Saturday and Sunday. I tap out because I gotta work on me, because the whole from Monday through Friday I'm up at 5 a.m., which is kind of something new. But it's a situation where I'm acquiring the wisdom because now I'm experiencing some things in the wee hours of the morning. So when it comes to this fasting thing, I help individuals understand it through the relationship that I've acquired with God through my fasting, through my praying, so that they can hear the intimacy in my words and in my prayer, that they say, Dag, you know what? I wanna talk to Abba like that. I wanna be able to, let it go and not care.
Yeah. Come on, sir. Right.
So we always open up every meeting with prayer. We close with prayer. And also, one of the things is to take it back with how we break into the kids and even the males, right? The older males. Kenny talked about the soul. We also talk about fear, right?
Right.
Fear is also an acronym to us, false evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we show them, and we with the kids, we always take it back to the boogeyman.
Yep.
When you
Just
sitting in your room and you got that chair over there in the corner and the clothes is piled up, but it looks like a boogeyman when those lights go out, but know it ain't the boogeyman,
Right.
So again, that false evidence appearing real, we try to show them that, what you think it is really ain't there, but the mind is a very powerful tool and it will make you think something else. So getting over those fears, and and that's how we open that up, because some people don't know God because they fear God.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And then when you think about it as well, like the things that you don't see are more powerful than the things that you do see.
Right.
So I tell them all the time, I said, breathe. I said, did you see any of that air that you just put into your lungs? So now if someone just to snatch the oxygen from out the room, we're all gonna do what? We're gonna drop. It's a wrap. So now this is as close as I can come to helping them understand that these things that you don't see are more powerful than the things you do see. So you have to be careful of what you speak. You have to be careful of what you think, because a lot of times with us, we are the biggest walking transistors on the face of this earth. Like I've mastered this to the point now where when I'm going places, before I get there, I already got a parking space in places where people will be like, "Nah, there ain't no parking."
Good at that. He's good at that.
If there's no parking, I'll be like, "Don't worry, I'm good." I already got a parking space in my head.
Yeah, speaking into existence, right? The tongue is a powerful thing. Words are spells. That's why
Yeah.
they call it spelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a fact.
I'm telling you. So now, I've been looking at some things that's just had me, and this is why, I started this series because it stemmed from me seeing two black men commit suicide on social media, like on live. I was having nightmares.
Yeah.
Like literally waking up to him saying, "Today is the day." That's the last thing he said on the live, and then it just went blank. He killed his pregnant girlfriend, and he did this on the lawn of his ex-wife. When I tell you the tone of his voice, I could not escape because he had such a calmness. Like he knew this was it for him. You know what I'm saying? And he was black. And with all due respect, for me, it was like our men don't really do that, or we don't really hear about it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a boy mom. I'm married to a black husband, and I have only brothers. And I was the only granddaughter for 20 years. So I've been around boys all my life. Yeah. So I have a heart for the men. You know what I'm saying? So this thing had me so troubled. And then here come the next one came, where this one took his life in front of his kid in the car. And all he's talking about is a female. Yeah. And you did this to me, and you hurt me, all these different things. And so as a mom, I was so grateful that I have real conversation with my kids. So I know I was making a joke about you when I said, they ain't told you about condoms. That's a real conversation. Right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We have to have these real conversations with our kids. So when it comes to things like the kids dealing with depression, or the men, let me say that the men dealing with depression as well, how do you guys tackle that for them to understand, things can get better? I know it seems hard. I know it looks bad. I know you've been going through this for such and such years. I know you've been incarcerated. I know she put you in jail. You know what I'm saying? Right. When you thought y'all was okay, how do you help them deal with depression?
Again, it's identifying, because depression is a spirit, right?
For sure.
And when you say condoms, you got sexually transmitted diseases, and then you have spiritually transmitted diseases, right? So those STDs, let's say, they always have this thing called women intuition, right? Where, you go out the house, and guys, a lot of guys go through it. They step out, they do something they didn't supposed to do. They come back in the house, the girl looks at them like, something ain't right. Something just ain't right. Something is off. And they, nothing going on. But meanwhile, spiritual transmitted disease, I had a condom on. How's she gonna know? It's a spiritually transmitted disease. Absolutely. Whatever this woman that you were dealing with outside of your relationship, whatever she was involved in, whatever her vibrations was, whatever her frequency was, right?
That's real.
It attached, because you went in, and when you went in,
the soul's exchange.
That there goes that kundalini intertwine.
Yeah. There you go.
Right. So now when that intertwine hit, now there's a connection. Yeah. So let's say she's going through that depression. Let's say she's going through an identity crisis, or so to say, because this is why it's so easy for you to do what you're doing, and she's all with it because she don't even care. I don't care if you marry. I don't care if you gotta. She already checked out already. She gone. So her situation is already being housed by probably 7 or more other situations that's already in there, right? So now you attaching yourself to this situation, and now all of a sudden you feeling low. You feeling dark. You feeling these different kind of emotions. You're not able to identify them. Oh my God, what I'm going to do? Next thing you know, your relationship starts spiraling.
Right.
Now it's spiraling to the point where you can't get it back. Yeah. So now when you can't get it back, what is it that you can do?
Right.
Yeah. Other than do what? Pray. Other than say, look, I repent, Lord, forgive me, Father. Let me help me forgive myself. Because a lot of times individuals haven't forgiven themselves.
Right.
That's right.
They're at a point of, allowing that guilt to just kill them, literally. Eat at them. And then it goes to that point where you see these particular these relationships become from healthy to unhealthy, from 0 to 60 seconds. And they be still wondering, it was all good just a week ago.
It's real.
So that depression is real, man.
Yeah. And again, I feel like going back to what I said earlier, allowing them to vent and speak on that, because again, our men we're taught sometimes purposely and other times just the culture, right, to really suck it up.
Yeah, you ain't crying.
Don't cry. Yeah. You know what I mean? You just deal with it. You a man, right? Deal with it. You know what I mean? And that's part of the problem. So what happens is We bottle it up, and when you keep bottling something up, what happens? Eventually it explodes, right?
Yep.
It has to come out, right? And when it comes
Absolutely.
out, depending on the individual and how much has been suppressed, sometimes that reaction is very great.
Yeah.
And unfortunate it has been for some of our men most recently to take their own lives.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's never that serious.
Right.
Right.
You know?
And not only that, domestic violence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not in support of no man that puts his hand on a woman. You know what I mean? And be just for what?
Yeah.
Women to beat on men either.
Nah, women to beat on, definitely that, because that is a two-way street. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? It's a two-way street. And it's just sad, you know, to the point where you allow somebody to get that tap in so much into your emotions.
Right.
Because you're supposed to be the master of your emotions, that you don't allow somebody else to master your emotions.
Right.
So now you're responding to that person in a violent way because you couldn't take the pressure.
Like a lot of times our male focus groups, like we'll have a topic going into the call, but like we'll greet each other and everything. Hey, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a while.
Spin.
And then all of a sudden somebody would say, you know what, brothers, I got something to get off my chest today. And they would say that. And whatever the goal was, that totally goes left.
Right.
And we talk about that. And guess what? That brother, by the end of that call, he's like, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for hearing me.
But on top of that, whatever that is, because that's the spirit as well, the spirit of the room. And whatever that topic may have been, it may have not been addressed, but whatever that brother brought to the table, not only him was going through it, somebody else in the room, other people in the room was also experiencing it. So now it's like, oh wow, yo,
so it was needed at that time. That's divine intervention. You know what I mean?
All the time. Every Monday at 9.
I gotta trademark that.
Yeah, you got to.
I
You got to.
gotta make that a shirt. But he be knowing. You know what I'm saying? It may sound a little ebonic, but he be knowing. You know, he knows when to shift things because somebody is ready to take their own life, and you can't tell over that phone call.
We can't tell. Right. And that conversation where that brother felt relieved. You know, we don't know what was going on in his head.
No, you don't.
You know what I mean?
If the subject would have been, if y'all had stuck to the subject, or somebody who wouldn't have had discernment would have said, okay, you know, thanks for sharing, maybe call us later, but we got to get back to the subject.
Yeah.
You don't know what would have happened with that person, but he be knowing.
Right, all the time.
He be knowing.
Yep.
That was good, y'all. All right, you know, back to the organization. You know, a lot of what I've noticed, and you know, I'd love you guys to tap into this because I'm sure there's other people in other places who would like to have that friend or had that friend that said that to them and they didn't do anything.
Right.
And now they feel guilty because maybe somebody that they know died or one of their friends' kids got murdered or something.
Right.
And they didn't jump when
proactive.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when it comes to stuff like keeping the organization going, we need money for stuff.
That's right.
So how are you guys been doing that and what can we help with?
Well, a lot of right now, I think this has been our show improve season of overflow.
Come on.
Right. And our show improve season of overflow consisted of recently last year, right? It started like last year, early last year, and then it kind of rolled into this year. So last year we were able to receive over $150,000 worth of Ralph Lauren clothing. Right. So that's polo, a lot of stuff like that, right? And we was able to do that through another organization who we continuously have a good relationship with and we continually have a collaboration with, and that organization name is Delivering Good. Okay. So Delivering Good helped facilitate a lot of the shipments that we do receive. So with those particular clothes, we went in different communities and we just gave them out for free, right? Just because we know people are in need. And just recently, probably like last month, mid last month, we received 5,000 brand new coats from Burlington Coat Factory. And I'm talking about what DKNY,
Michael Kors,
right, all of this stuff that's high end, brand new out the box, and we able to distribute that through different organizations because it's through transparency, right? Through all of these different relationships that we've acquired over the years. I just called up, organizations like Life Camp, like Man Up, different organizations that have, a little bit of ringing in the streets. People know them, but they also part of a CMS, which is a crisis management system that really deals with the violence interrupting within the city, right? But we're not affiliated with the CMS because we are a CBO, which is a community-based organization, which we operate in our own free will and entity. So by doing these particular things, it just shows the community, we have you guys in heart, right? We have you in heart, and we want to be able to be a blessing. So by doing that, by being a blessing, we provided, shelter, not shelter, but food, also, to homeless, right? Every Thanksgiving we get together as well, right? For the past
Underground feeding,
underground feeding for about over 10 years. Where we feed over 300 or so more people just by, just on Thanksgiving. We don't go and sit down with our families and enjoy it, because it's really not about that for us. It's always been about, making sure others have. And then we also would take some of our youth with us from our Jegna program and have them experience what it is to, give out the food and see how it changed.
Right.
You want to tap on that?
Yeah, I want to tap on that a little bit. We go where others don't go. So instead of having it, at a nice little hall and people coming in, even people who are going to eat at their own house, come in and eat. We call it underground feeding, because we go into the subway and we ride the train and we feed the homeless that are down there in the subway.
And it's not smelling so friendly.
Right. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But what I'm saying is, like, we go deep. You know what I
mean? Right. And that's one of the things that, we consistently been doing certain things such as these, like, throughout the years. And right now, this year was the first year I said, you know what, $50,000 is small, right? But it is something that would be big for our organization to be able to obtain from now to June 2nd. So June 2nd, we are hosting our second annual Father and Family Jamboree, right? And no alcohol, none of that stuff. Not on the premises anyway. We might raffle off a couple bottles for those who might take it and take it home, but we're not sending nobody home drunk with their kids in the car. But we really want to be able to raise these funds, so now we could be able to start to again provide individuals with a salary. Like, I'm the executive director and founder. I couldn't tell you what a check looked like in my name for over 10 years. And all I could say is, by me being a given person, by me putting people over profit, I have not wanted or needed for anything.
And that's because we walk by faith and not by sight. And not by sight. And we go out there. Faith is what? Following, moving forward, even if you can't see what's in front of you, right? So it's like taking that stair step, even if you can't see the stairs. We go and we lead, and and also around funding. Well, we're looking to get more into the school districts. So those school districts that have Title I funding, we're looking to partner with those so we can bring a program inside, specifically the Jegna program for the youth inside of the schools, and touch those that are, in the schools that may not know about us, and may need the assistance.
And just by having that kind of, just relationships, as well as building with Department of, Corrections, Department of Education, all of these different, city agencies, we want to be able to collaborate with them. And we've already put the track work in as far as the free work, right? People can see the results. It's all about data. So if people want to ask us about data, as I said earlier, in regards to the Jegna program, first thing we do is take the report cards. We not only with the report cards, we watching them academically, but then we also watch them how they evolve socially. Then after that, it's all about, what are they doing mentally? What are they building? Right? What are they trying? What do they aspire to do? How many of them have accomplished their goals? How many of them are no longer, not even in jail? Put it like that, right? So throughout over 10 years of doing the program, if we were to visit these particular communities that we had programming in, we could do an assessment on how many of these young boys we kept out of prison, right? And show and prove, like, this is part of the data that is necessary in order for those individuals and these other big corporations to say, well, you know what? This organization has been making an impact, but yet when we're not the loudest trumpet in the room, right? When we're not the loudest trumpet in the room, sometimes you don't get heard. But see, this is where the humbleness come in at. So when we think about the fundraising factors and also the relationships that have to be formulated with these particular agencies and corporations, It's just like, yo, give us a shot so we can show you what we got, because it's about really showing you better than we can tell you. And that's where we at with it. So over the years, it's just not about photo ops. Like, you can go on our website, fathersaliveinahood.org. You could check us on Instagram, Fathers Alive in the Hood. You can go, like I said, YouTube. And a lot of the stuff we try to keep documenting so people can see. Like, I just don't want to be like, oh yeah, we got an organization. We do a lot with the youth. We do a lot, against gang and gun violence and all this other stuff. But it's also, helping them understand that we need them, the community, to trust us, because we have organizations like Burlington. We have organizations like Sergio Ticini and all of these different brands that trust us, that when they give us a large quantity of product that's worth some money, that we ain't out here selling it and going all over the place. Right? We're doing the right thing. We're actually giving it to people. Here, take this. You need it. Here we go. Yeah. Right? And not asking nothing for it. Right? Because I know at times, when I was younger and I was growing up and people were cold, some people got bust over their head just for somebody to get a jacket on their back, just to get warm. So it's like, all right, now you could provide a certain necessity for a person. You might have just stopped somebody from doing something violent or something to the next level, because look, my kids is cold. They need something to go to school in. So, I would love to believe that, we are providing the resources through our 501c3, which is a nonprofit organization. And it's literally nonprofit because we're not making a profit off of this. So it's just like, all right, when you give us the money, we will show you what we are doing with the money, because we have to. Absolutely. Why? Because we're getting the discretionary funding, but it's all about really accessing it. Where's the access at? If we can't, get the what is it called? The matching funds. Right. We need matching funds.
So, we apply for, different grants that are out there. We have one, like, we've been really blessed to win a lot of grants. Most recently, like you said, over the last year, almost 2 years now.
2 years, yeah. From out of 10 years now. Right. Out of 10 years, the last 2 years, it's been our best shit.
Ground roots. Yeah. Grassroots type of deal. And it's been beautiful, though, because we even have kids now for after 10 years who are now adults,
right?
Who are fathers themselves.
That's what I was thinking in my head.
And they come back through the program now on the other side, as facilitators, and they can tell their journey. Like, hey, I once was sitting in that seat with you. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. And to just see, like, you talk about data, they are actually impacting fathers now, and a lot of them didn't have their fathers. So due to influence, the impact faith had on them, it inspired them to then be there for their children. So this is generational here.
Yes, it's generational. And even when you hear, like, I guess when you use celebrities, they'll always bring up, the YMCAs and the places that got them to a certain place mentally when they were kids.
Right.
That something happened with them, that fire was ignited and was like, I gotta do something different. That person made me realize I was great at acting. I didn't really know, I sung around the house, but this person was like, no, if I work with your voice, you can do it. And now they're Usher. Or now
right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's how you pay it forward.
Right.
These kind of organizations are built for you to be able to come back in and remember that you were once that student, or you were once that adult, or whatever the case may be, and come back and pay it forward. So, thank you guys.
Yeah. Sure.
That's dope. So, I had another question, but we kind of tapped into it. So I'm not even going to go there because then we'll be talking forever. I can definitely talk to y'all forever. That's okay. So put out there, how would they reach you guys in reference to helping out with funding if they wanted to connect with you? Because this is what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I know I'll be getting deep sometimes.
Let's do it. Let the spirit move.
When you brought up the last 2 years, right? All I was hearing is, and this is what I want people to understand sometimes when they're feeling frustrated, do not be weary.
Right.
And well doing. You understand what I'm saying? So these last 2 years, and I'm gonna say this for me, what I keep hearing from God and what I keep seeing, even in the works of other people, because I love people who are doing the actual work. Let me just say that. The actual work, not for the photo op. They don't say that.
Right.
It's a lot of that going on. But in the last 2 years, and going into 2023, I feel that it's a thing where God is like, I see you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like those times where you like, dang man, like I know I'm doing this for the youth, but it's kind of hard. Like my home life is being affected, or my love life is being affected, or this is being affected, but I gotta keep doing it because I did hear God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But these last 2 years between last year and this year, I feel like God is like those who have really been doing the work and could have complained or could have let it fall to the wayside, could have given up and continued to trust me. I see you.
It's reaping season.
Yes.
Right, it's reaping season.
Literally.
Reap
And-
the fruits of your
Because we
labor.
don't plant the seed and see
and
the
I
flower the
and
next
I
day.
would be
Right.
and I
That's
would be
realistic. So
I
that's
would be
also with
remiss.
this.
I would be remiss right now if I don't mention that, you know, my wife of 10 it'll be 10 years in December. You know, she is my vice president / executive assistant.
Yeah.
Who, you know, we work in the office together. So it's just like, I don't know if people, you know, you in a relationship or you married, and you sometimes your husband go to work and he goes this way and you go that way. Nah, we sitting in the office. She's right across from me, and then it's like it's invigorating in a way because I watch her become the woman she is. And it's like seeing her evolve, not only in a caring way, but in a way where she is putting herself in a position mentally to be able to conquer some things that were once looking like struggles. Like people would struggle, it would be like, nah, like, but she has put herself in a place of to be a recipient of wisdom and understanding, so that she now can be able to look in certain government contracts and go into the systems and be like, boom, I just pulled this money, and I'm like, wow, this is great, just watching and being able to witness that, and just shout out to her, for being my being my backbone and my arms at the times, is holding me up at times when I just be like, yo, I don't even know, this is a lot. And and she's my prayer partner. So I'm just saying.
And that's what we try to do is going back to the brotherhood. We bring the families into it now. That's why we have the jamboree. Like, my wife and his wife, we all hang out together. We do things together. We bring the other brothers and their wives in, because this is all the family. Like you said, a village, And we got to shout out OGM as well. Which is
Our Girls Matter.
Our Girls Matter. That's the sister, the part of Faith, right? They're affiliate organization that his wife is the president of.
Right.
So shout out to both our wives. they allowed us to be here tonight. My wife said, "No, I leave. She said, where you going?" I'm like, "I got to do the Faith Pass podcast again." So I had to skip out on date night.
Right.
Even with that, you guys are going into environments where that's not a normalcy. Going home to the wife, that's supportive.
Right.
Let me say that part. That's supportive, because a lot of times, even like the coaches, they're going through whatever they're going through at home with the kids and the wives. Their safe space is coaching the kids, but they still got to show up to home. So to be able to say, my partner got me. My partner supported me. My partner, see, I ain't making no money, but she still got me. God sends you who you need.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He said that women are helpmates.
Yes.
First and foremost.
He will send you who you need.
So if we're not helping one another, right, we have to be helping one another. And one of the key things I said was, she's my prayer partner.
Right.
Right. So a lot of the time we may not see things, but if we can believe.
That's right.
And we can believe to that point where, you know what, this is going to be. It's going to be. How you know? It's just going to be. Yep. And that's that. And we walk in that. And then in that same process, we're praying for each other. Because again, every couple is under attack. Anybody that's married, anybody that's in a strong relationship with a foundation is under attack. You're under attack by so many unseen elements that come strictly to kill, steal, and destroy your joy. And you have to be on point with that. You cannot wake up in the morning and be like, everything is all rosy and peachy. No, when you get up, know for a fact that the attack is coming, and you got to be able to identify the attack so that you won't be affected by it. How do you do that? Right. Pay attention to the words that come out individuals' mouths. That's not of her.
Yeah.
That's not of him. Something's wrong.
Happening here.
Let me go pray for him.
Yes, that's
Let me go pray for her.
I'm telling you.
You know, so there's certain things that has to happen. So I don't know. And if you don't subscribe to the power of prayer, I think you really need to tap in, like tap into, you know, knowing what prayer is, knowing that relationship with God. Because anybody that claims that, you know, they believe in God, you can believe in, but to have a relationship is a whole nother level of not only belief but communication. Because we can have these relationships and they will spiral out of control because we don't know how to be able to express our emotions, because our minds aren't even equipped enough to deal with what we will to do. And a lot of times people will to do some good stuff. And sometimes people will do some real other stuff, right? So we have to be able just to pull it in and be able to just, you know, love one another. Love one another just like they said Christ loved the church.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's right.
Come on, y'all. Out here. But I love that because even with the youth and the men that you're pouring into, they need to see that. They need to see that it's possible. They may have broken hearts. You know what I'm saying? They may have been breaking hearts since they was 15 years old, all the way up until their 40s.
Yeah, I was a victim of a broken heart.
They're like,
I know.
You know, I don't know if anybody. I don't think I'm lovable. And you guys are like, listen, once that person wasn't lovable, I was out there shaking out.
That's a fact.
Now look at me. You know what I'm saying? So they can see that as well. And like you said, you dealt with heartbreak. And sometimes that one heartbreak can turn you into a whole
monster. Yeah. That was me.
Right.
Yeah.
Anybody that know me, I ain't gonna talk about that right now. But y'all know me. Y'all know the vibes. I am no longer the same person inside or outside. I done cut the locks off. Yeah, you know, it's different.
It's different. It's different.
It's different.
Listen, thank you guys so much. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. You know, even just going back to collaborations, I love that basically what you are showing the young men and the older gentlemen is that, you know, you have to show and prove.
Right.
And you can't just walk into a situation and be expecting to get, you know, the works. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get the white privilege when you walk in the door because you're you. Maybe you got that in the street. But in here, we for real about this, and you gotta prove yourself. And I think that's so important for the youth to see. Because unfortunately, for some kids, they were given everything.
Yeah.
Like I went to school, I was a cheerleader in high school. My boyfriend was a basketball player. A lot of basketball players right now don't have jobs and different things because they didn't have to do certain things in class because they was getting a W.
Exactly.
Right. Like, make sure we win tonight.
Right.
We got to class. Come on, get that W. We got to beat you in there.
Right.
Now, he don't know how to do anything.
Right.
You don't left him to
no
go
social
on,
skills,
and
no
he
nothing.
Don't got nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you guys are showing them that, you know, you got to be responsible. You have to be accountable for the things that you're doing. But I can also help you change if you own it. We're going to start from the bottom. Now we here.
Right.
That's
right. Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That's a fact.
Accountable.
Having the ability to account.
Yes.
Where was you at what time? Having the ability to account. If you can't account it for it, then that means you have no accountability.
Yes,
That's right.
Big energy on that. So let them know your social media.
Oh, yo, listen, social media is only thing probably different.
Reach you. Let me say that.
All right, this is how you can reach me. The number is 718 480 6278. That is the Fathers Alive in the Hood headquarters phone number.
Love that name.
Right? Man. You can reach us there. Or if you feel like walking, it's 114-02 Guyard Brewer Boulevard, Suite 215, Jamaica, New York 11434. You can also write checks or money orders and send it there too, just in case. I'm just saying.
That's a walking
Yeah. You know, you can walk right up out your car. We got parking in the backyard, like it's a big building, so we got parking in the back.
Okay,
you know what I mean? So you can walk right around to the front, and you can come on upstairs, and we can really chop it up face to face. If you don't believe it, we can show you more than we can tell you. You know, just follow, man. Follow the right people. There's benefits in following the right people. We understand that in this social media world that we're in, that a lot of people got all of these followers, but you don't get nothing for following them. And sometimes we have a lot of give back. Shout out to Delivering Good, like we said earlier. So when certain people followed us, they was like, yo, I looked on your page today, and I was about to go out and go buy my sons and my daughters some coats and all of this, and we seen you was giving free coats out. and they popped up on the scene, and they was like, "Yo, these coats cost more than what I was going to spend."
Right.
Come on in here.
You know what I mean? So we got some stuff that we're working on in the near future. Definitely keep in mind, keep that date, June 2nd open. We will be having our second annual Fathers and Family Jamboree, which will be hosted at the Rochdale Ballroom. I don't know if y'all know what the Rochdale Ballroom is, but that's out in Southeast Queens and Rochdale Village, right? So that's a big little area, but I'm just saying, y'all got to show up to know what I'm talking about.
Show out, he means.
Word.
Okay,
so
let's go.
Look at the Instagrams. Fathers Alive in the Hood. I'll definitely have the flyers and a way for you guys to purchase your tickets or even just make small donations. We got Cash App, Fathers Alive. And if you want to do a Zelle, right, it's Fathers Alive in the Hood at Gmail. I'm just saying, .com.
Right, let's
that
go.
part.
That's it.
What you got for us, Mr.
If there's any Long Island fathers out there, young men, we're looking to grow our footprint here in Long Island. So definitely reach out, call the office. You can hit us directly. You can DM us on Facebook. You know, Kenny Carter, Anthony Page Jr. We're here for you. We're looking to really expand, and Long Island needs us. So we're here to make it happen.
And we know we got fathers alive in the hood out here. We know we done heard the inquiries. We know that, you know, brothers are inquiring. So now we saying, look, this is the time.
Right.
This is the appointed time. If you are listening to this right now, that means it was meant for you to hear it. If you are seeing this right now, and it was meant for you to see it. Because this is you got a lot of things you could be watching, but now you done came across this. And these are this interview here was an interview unlike any other interview. That's because we are unlike any other individuals. So I'm just saying, pay attention. When you pay attention, you earn respect.
Love it. I was about to ask you if y'all want to leave the people with something but that was hey, messed up my question. If you got something, give it to the people. If somebody just came in like, oh, Lady She is doing something. Let me see what she got going on right now. It don't pop on my notifications and they come on right now. What would you want them to hear?
The foundation of everything in your life should lead with faith. And that's what we do, and that's what we're about. Faith, fathers alive in the hood, God first, family first. So come rock with us. If you believe in God, you believe in your family, you want to keep that bond the way it should be, then you can come be a member of Faith.
Right. And look, and not for nothing, even if you don't, because guess what? In your non-belief, right, is just as strong as our belief. Ooh. So in that mindset, when you come around us, will eventually change. That's right. So it's all about, positive overriding the negative and us identifying whose kingdom we reside in. And if you didn't know the answer, it's called the kingdom of God, right? I just want to be specific because we know that there's the kingdom of darkness that does exist. We are not subscribing to any citizenships. In fact, we were revoking anybody's passport that want to come into our midst with that BS. We are not with it. So, other than that, man, love yourself. Because if you expect, people to love you, you got to love yourself first. So then you're able to love others. So I just gotta say peace, love, faith.
Faith. Boom. Peace. Listen, make sure you guys check them out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. This Fathers Alive in the Hood. And it's technically, I think the YouTube handle would be the URL would be SYGU, the number 2, YOU. Okay. But if you look up Fathers Alive in the Hood, you'll be like, all that stuff.
Yes. Please make sure you guys tap in. For those of you, especially those of you who follow me and know what I'm about, y'all know this is not for play, okay? So I'm telling y'all to open up your pockets, put your money to something that's going to be fruitful, that's actually going to be given back. This is what I need y'all to do for Faith right now. Listen, thank you so much, guys, for being a part of my Men Wear Art series 2, okay? We got numbers. We got double digits almost, okay? I'm just kidding. We up, though, okay? It's happening. But listen, thank you so much for your support. Make sure you guys subscribe to How Michael Lacey Podcast on YouTube. Listen, faith, y'all. Faith, period. And that's how we're going to end. Later.